Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 31st of October. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own chance. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, this is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Today, we've got neutral tape. It is Halloween, and it is the end of the month. So I'm not expecting to see a huge amount today. I am wondering about a retest of the highs. I'll be coming to that. But next week is an important week, and we've got bullish leading days on Monday, Tuesday, very bullish leading day on Thursday, that's 81%, and a bullish leading day on Friday. That is an awful lot of bullish leading tape, and I'm watching with great interest to see what happens here, because actually there have been a number of drivers in favor of the markets going up a lot after continuing to go up from here. We've come up, we've hit resistance, we've not meaningfully broken through it yet, and so far of the four things I was really looking at, three of them have already happened, and one of those is the tech earnings, which are pretty much done now. Second one was the China deal, which has been done and was as good as I expected. The US hasn't got a great negotiating position, as I said in my post. So they've got rare earth minerals for another year. A deal was made on soy, and China got all the processors they wanted. So more or less what you'd expect. So that's out of the way too. We've got what the third one was, but the fourth one was that we have very bullish leading tape next week. So I'm waiting to see what happens then. But I'll be writing a post about that today, so watch out for that. But really, what we've not done so far is meaningfully broken up from a whole load of resistance trend lines that we've hit. And if we can't break up from those, then we may well go down instead. So we will see. And the rest of November, while leaning bullish as a whole for a month, is much less bullish than next week. So waiting to see what happens next week. Anyway, I'll do a post. Watch out for it. In the meantime, we have a sell signal here on ES that made target. And we've got a possibility of returning to the high. This isn't going to give us hourly sell signals on the RTH charts, but we've now got a possibility it could give us daily sell signals, RSI 5 sell signals on the chart. So actually, and set up some nice looking short-term little level tops. That is interesting. We will see. NQ is the same. We had a sell signal, it made target, and we're wending our way back up. It's obviously close to the high because tech is leading everything that's been happening lately. RTY, we've still got a nice looking level top here. We've got a possible weak 60-minute buy signal brewing. It is pretty weak, but I think it's got a decent chance of delivering. And we've got a little level bottom here. I haven't drawn it in, but I'll just put the line in here actually. There it is. Where would that be looking for? Retest of this high. All right, YM. YM, possible topping action here. Might have, I don't know, it's kind of fugly for our head and shoulders, but looks like topping action. We've got a 60-minute sell signal that's reached the possible near miss target, but I'm really looking at the daily charts on all of these. So let's have a look at DAX. DAX, we've got a move below the weekly pivot here. So I'm still wondering what will happen with this in terms of a retest of the high. This is a little large for a bull flag, and I'm not convinced this is going to retest the high, but it might do it. ESTX, we've got a nice looking nested double top here, which hasn't meaningfully broken up yet. We will see. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. Okay, looking at the daily chart, we've now gone down to a level where a retest of the high would get an RSI 5 sell signal break. Obviously, you can see we're at the main resistance here, and that has not meaningfully broken. And the wedge is narrowing, and I'm wondering about a breakdown from it. So in terms of the Qs, I did say also, as we were testing all these 3SD upper bands, that I was expecting to see I was expecting to see some consolidation or retracement, and we are seeing that. So maybe what we've been seeing this week is just that. On the Qs, we obviously had a couple of tests of the 3SD upper band. We're pulling back from that at the moment. Again, on the RSI 5, we're in a position where if we retest the high, we could easily set an RSI 5 sell signal brewing, and exactly the same thing applies to Dia. That's all actually quite encouraging. Let's have a look at the pattern setups. Now, in terms of the hourly chart, SPX has hit the obvious trend line and has overthrown it slightly. So I'm waiting to see whether we're topping out here. That is the bearish alternative. Looking at Qs, we reached the second trend line here, which I'm going to promote to the first and main trend line over the weekend, but I haven't marked it in as basically this being the thicker line and this being the thin one. But here we've overthrown it slightly, and again I'm wondering about topping action here. Looking at Dia, Dia didn't reach the top trend line, but we've got a nice move up, which has hit and overthrown the main trend line I was looking at. We still got a weak 60-minute weak RSI 14 sell signal there, and we made the weak RSI 5 sell signal target. I'm really liking retests and potential fails there, and this isn't a bad setup, because if we can't break up here and with some confidence, then chances are we're going down. So even if the timing isn't exactly ideal now. SPX, we've got a possible RSI 14 buy signal brewing at the close yesterday. That is totally in effect and may well make a target when we open today. Didn't have anything on the Qs, on Dia, didn't have anything either. We never quite got a double top going here, but that's okay, because I think we're going back to retest the highs across the board anyway. Let's have a look at these on the IWM charts. IWM on the daily chart, we've still got our weak RSI 14 and RSI 14 sell signals fixed on the big picture. Retest of the high will not affect that at all. But if we can get some daily RSI 5 sell signals brewing, then those are the signals I really like to see. So that would be very encouraging. In terms of the 3SD upper bands, I was talking about a few days consolidation when we hit that, and well, what we're looking at here, we've had a few days consolidation. On the hourly chart, we're testing the rising support. I was looking for a high retest. We haven't seen one yet. I'm hoping to see one now. And I'm thinking we may well see that over the next couple of days. Got a pretty reliably bullish day on Monday. We'll see. Looking at 15-minute chart, possible RSI 5. No, we don't quite have an RSI 5 buy signal there, because I don't think we retested the low. But nonetheless, this would be a good place to go and retest the high from, and that would give us, we could set up a series of short-term double tops, not particularly ambitious ones, but nonetheless, as we set up some negative divergence on the daily RSI 5. All right, looking at DAX, we're still kicking around the daily middle band, so a break below it yesterday. I'm thinking we'll break it back above it. We are compressing here for a move. On Nikkei, we've broken up here, so the channel resistance has broken. Still got a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing here. No really obvious trendline resistance at this point. Nothing particularly obvious. I'll be having a look at that on the weekend. We will see. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX. DX, we've got some negative divergence, not here, but on USD, JPY and USD CAD. We've reached the retest this high as expected, and we've got a potential double top here. I'm expecting continuation higher, but I am thinking we might see a bit of a pullback first. On USD, we almost made it to the retest of the low, and I'm leaning towards seeing that. That would also get a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. On GBP, we've been weakening more, and that's not surprising. Things are not looking that great fiscally in Britain at the moment. USD JPY, we've hit a possible megaphone resistance trend line, and we've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. USD CAD, possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, although we may be losing that divergence at the moment. So I think we'll find out in 5 minutes. But it looks like that divergence may be lost. Australian dollar, got some positive divergence as soon as we retest this low, but really, overall, I'm thinking that we're going to continue down here and up on DX, but I'm thinking we might see a bit of a rally first. Here, we got a possible... really thought I'd mark this in. A possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. As I tend to update both this and the the main emails at the same time. Sometimes I mark in one and forget the other. So this is a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. So really, I'm leaning towards seeing a bit of a retracement here on DX and then likely higher. Looking at ZB, we got a double top. Well, sorry, we got head and shoulders here, which is broken down with a target in the 116 area. We didn't quite make the initial double top target, so we'll see. Still leaning towards the downside. 60-minute buy signal fixed. Might see a bit more of a rally here. Looking at ZN, ZN almost made the head and shoulder target actually. Hasn't quite managed it. I'm still leaning towards a bit of a rally here and then likely further down. Looking at CL, we got a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed. We've got a little level bottom here, and I'm thinking we may well go back and retest this high. Monthly pivots, obviously, this is the last day for all of these monthly pivots. They've served us well, but need to be replaced by new ones, obviously, at the weekend. On HO, 60-minute sell signal reached the possible near miss targets, and we're almost, if we get back to the 70 area, obviously I'll call those. I'm leaning towards us getting back to the 70 area as we go back up and retest this high. On RBOB, we've retested the high already, might get another retest. I am wondering if we might see a large retracement after those retests. NG, we broke down from a head and shoulders, and we rejected. We've gone back up to the high. Could this be a double top? No, it's too big. Relative to the preceding trend. I'm thinking we may well then now retest this high and then continue higher. We do have short-term a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed, and this may well turn into a larger possible full-size sell signal brewing. GC, we've got a head and shoulders which is broken down here with a target in the 3650 area. This looks like a short-term bear flag, so I'm leaning towards seeing retest this low, and obviously we could see lower when we get that. SI, we broke down here, and I'm watching with great interest to see whether or not we're going to start failing head and shoulders here. I'm looking at the ones on SI and Palladium particularly, because obviously GC is not close to doing that. SI is. If it can get up another few ticks, this head and shoulders would fail. Although there is a possible alternate we could be forming here with this as the left shoulder. On Palladium, we don't have an alternate here, and it's getting pretty close to failing on that one. If it fails and there's no obvious alternative, I'll be always leaning towards seeing a retest of the prior high or low if it's an iron chest. On Platinum, this looks like a bear flag. On HG, we've retested the high here, and that's broken down slightly. Short term looks like a little bear flag, and I've got a target down here in the 4.88 to 4.92 area. Looking at KC, KC looks like a little bear flag here too, and I'm leaning towards this breaking down into a low retest and very possibly heading down into this main double top support, which I've got in the 349 area. On SB, 60-minute buy signal fixed, not really delivering a lot so far. Maybe looking at a larger breakdown here. CC, this beautiful falling megaphone has broken up. I think we're in the bottoming process here. I'm not seeing an obvious reversal pattern at the moment. If this likely bear flag support breaks down and we see a low retest, we can set up a double bottom. CT, I've got an IHS which is broken up with a target in the 68 area. I've also got a possible bear flag megaphone here. One or the other of these is like to make target, either a move to 68 or a move down to retest the low in about the 42.70 area. On lumber, we've retested the low. This could be the second low of a double bottom, but I don't think it is. We've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed. I'm looking for a bit of a rally here, but we've got a much bigger picture double top, which is broken down with a target 200 below. That is the main pattern I'm watching here on the bigger picture. On ZW, we've got a double top, which has broken down with a target in the 511.75 area. And I've marked that as reaching target, but it hasn't. I don't know why. I've marked that in. So that hasn't actually made target. So we're still waiting. That's heading towards the target. No particular reason to think that it won't make it. And we've got a 60-minute sell signal here, which is now almost reached target, but not quite yet. On corn, we've got possible double top here too, which is starting to break down. Could be red as a head and shoulders. But it's more of a double top actually. So I'm thinking this is going to break down. We could see some retracement there too. Soy, it wasn't actually much of a deal. The Chinese have promised to now buy half as much soy from the US as they did last year, and then ramp that up to as much as they bought last year for the next 2 years. So does that make a huge impact on the soy price? I'm not seeing a huge breakup from it. If so, we're at resistance. We've got a nice looking double top here. We will see. But my lean would be to the downside. On ZL, broke down from a bear flag, looking for a retest of this low, which is in about the 48.9 area. Looking at live cattle, we're seeing a rally here. Personally, I'm thinking the political resistance to importing beef from Argentina is so high that it's going to be hard to deliver. If so, this may well just head back to the highs, because this was really mostly about Argentina, I think. Lean hogs, got a wedge or a megaphone here, or not quite sure what the pattern is here, but I've got a pretty decent looking resistance trend, support trend line. I'm waiting for a resistance trend line, but we'll need another move up to get that, I think, because I don't believe, and the obvious one, no, it's not there. We haven't got anything confirmed, and we haven't got anything that looks that obvious at the moment, but I think we might be bottoming out short term for a rally, and we've got a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. No questions, in which case that's a wrap. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. Everyone have a great weekend, and obviously if you watch the bigger picture, I'll have that on Sunday. All right, take care.